We say easily, for instance, the ignorant ought not to vote. We would say no civilized state should have citizens too ignorant to participate in government. And this statement is but a step to the fact that no state is civilized which has citizens too ignorant to help rule it. That is a quote from W.E.B. Du Bois, and this is the Inspired Poetry Corner. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever part of the world you are. I am sitting here, my heart is full, sitting and witnessing the magnificence of our human species by watching the faces on the screen. I am grateful for you to join us today. I hope you are well. I know I got up this morning feeling grateful. For those of you that don't know, I've been sick for the past 3.5 weeks, thinking I've been getting sick again. Woke up yesterday feeling I was getting sick again, but I'm still here. So I'm full with gratitude for being here, and I'm grateful that you have joined us and chose to spend a Sunday with us. It is a Sunday kind of love. So welcome to the Inspired Poetry Corner for those that have never been here before. This is a monthly recital. It is not an open mic. We have a featured poet, and then we have other poets that are invited to participate in celebrating our feature. And every month we have a feature. The feature will have up to 25 minutes to recite, and then it's followed by an interview where I ask various questions. And then afterwards, I invite the 17 or the 18 that I have on the list today to share their pieces. To all poets that are going to be supporting our feature, I'm asking you to keep it to 2 poems max. So you don't have to do 2. If you only want to do 1, that's up to you, but up to 2, just to be respectful of everyone's time, because if not, this could be a 3-hour show, which I don't have a problem with. You know, going back to our earlier conversation, there was a time not too long ago where we were able to sit for long periods of time and talk and read and converse. And this age of everything being instant has become a challenge. So there's a balance in everything. So I'm just inviting you to fully engage and be here for the full time, because it's Sunday. And this is, this is something I look forward to, because we get to spend time together, although via electronically. And, we're talking about the ills of social media, but life is about balance, because without technology, we don't get to participate like this. So I am grateful and hopefully be balanced. So good morning to you all. Good morning to the ones that just joined. Just a few housekeeping. As I said earlier, when we are speaking or when a feature or anyone is reciting, make sure your mic is muted. When it's your turn to recite, just unmute yourself, have your poems ready to go. And we'll be cruising at an altitude of 35,000 feet. The flight attendants will come around and take your drink preferences and what food you would like to eat. The movie tonight is Elemen2al the Poet. It will be a 25 to 45 minute experience, enjoying the brilliance of words and the brilliance of the storytellers. So sit back and enjoy, fasten your seatbelt, and enjoy the takeoff. Anyway, I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're enjoying where we are so far. Let's get this going, because I posted it earlier this week. He is coming. He is coming. I've been wanting to feature this man for a while. I've gotten to sample his brilliance in works that he does and the conversations that we've had. So he is driven by passion that fuels the starship of his thoughts. Elemen2al roams the universe, healing through his poetry. He has the courage to confront his depression, anxiety, PTSD with words. A harbinger of agony, writing wrongs into poems, one beat at a time. Fueled by his desires to enlighten all who hear his words, he speaks with an accent of change. He is poetry, unapologetically. deadly revolutionary, and a true student to all things creative. The sum of his fear is exploitation of an unbalanced equation and seeker of truth in all forms. Voice for the voiceless, carrying the torch of love for true artistry. Broadcasting truth people can use, standing on the shoulders of giants. He is also the brilliant host of the Eureka Cafe Poets Monday night online show. I've had the pleasure of having a number of conversations with this young man. Yes, I say young man because I'm older than you, so I could say that. He has an infectious smile, he has an infectious personality, and his words cut to the bone, but not in a negative way. Comes into your soul and invites you to look at your own truth. And he does a brilliant job of hosting and herding the cats at the cafe and keeping everyone flowing and feeling vibrant and feeling special. He has a unique way of touching people and touching their heart. I will say he's a friend, he's a brother.
Oh, yes.
I appreciate everything that he does and what he brings to the table. I'm going to shut up now because I want him to have as much time to do his thing. So I will invite you to unmute just for a second so you can show your love and appreciation because they call him Elemen2al the Poet. My brother.
Woo! Woo!
Yay. In the building.
Woo!
You're still muted. Unmute Elemen2al. You're still
muted.
Some goes in the building. That's what it is.
There you go.
Stay in the building. Listen.
Some gods in the flesh.
Hey, as much as I can be, you know. Listen, to all of y'all, I know it is a crazy hour where you are. Somewhere in the world. Mary Lee is here. Marianne is here. Alexandra Satopolu is here. Daughter of Krypton is here. Like, there's so many people from different parts of the world that are here, and I truly cannot thank you enough. Your energy truly continues to make me connected to what we do, right? I truly have always felt that I am a conduit through which creativity speaks. And I will continue to do that, right? Hosting is it's just a part of who I am because now I get to remind you how beautiful you are, how beautiful and magnificent your poetry is and your artistry is every single time. Like, I wouldn't have the energy to do what I do if it weren't for all of you. So thank you, all of you, for being here, all of you. Really, like, I can't tell you how much I love you, truly. What I can do to show you how much I appreciate all the love that you have for me and have shown me is I'm going to do what I can to kind of burn it down for a few minutes. I will set my timer, 22 minutes, and then we'll go on, right? Okay. First of all, like I said, thank you to Raul. It has been a while since we have connected. He is truly who you see here. He is a man of the world, a human of this planet that we call home. He truly is. And I thank you for cruising at this altitude because creativity lives in this atmosphere. I am the dark side. And anything good and everything bad with your perfect little fallacy. A villainous conjurer of righteous thoughts. I was born wrapped in this war paint I used to graffiti the American construct with a mutant matrix Morpheus mind frame, atmosphere rearranger, descendants of Garvey, Newton, Carmichael X, Black Splash, their backlash with mad color. This bad brother is a protest standing still. I am the red pill. conductor of this conscious railroad underground, speak for my people who was lost and never found. Sojourner this truth, make it Hubbard image till they hear it clear. Say it loud, say it loud, say it loud. I'm Black and I'm proud. I am elemental. This is something I truly, truly love to do. The folks who really know me know a few things about me. And one of them is that I am a super Matrix fanatic. So you will hear multiple Matrix references throughout this set. If you're unfamiliar, I would implore you to dig into the Matrix catalog. I'm going to give you a few new poems. Today it's really still wet. So, shout out to the paint slingers, shout out to the Inhumans in the building. This is something, shout out to Keeper of Concrete. Also, this came from the Keeper of Concrete. This is, I'm so dope. I've been dope since conception, grown from poppy seed and mama's gardening next to blow, dro, and cocoa, where popo/12 make it hell for a hustler with combustible turns of phrase. Blaze fiends, beam me up, Scotty, where galactic sustenance turn sonnets become smack-soaked serotonin. There is no spoon pure enough to smoke, blue magic in a revolutionary's body, talking that black righteous space shit, outcasted by flicks of pens deep as Nautilus. These jellyfish-infested stanzas make plankton question quaalude-induced coordinates in leagues of killer beings, make it bubble chemical, call it aqualung, another QP16 hydroponic MD Mambian metaphors dream they'll love me in mornings after just a bump to get over that hump day and fly your ass to paydays. So American gangster, slanging a metric tons of Pfizer Frank white truth recycled, repackaged, and repurposed as extremist. Malcolm Little's last fix made X of Pandora's boxes. I'm so dope. I cardiac arrest, CPR, respiratory repetition, squeezing life back into lungs while stealing it from the living. Sativa, believer, chase dragons from opium dens, scorpion pen, ken the shark's fin, overdose flow. I murdered a rock, injured every rolling stone not named temptation, hospitalized a brick. I'm so dope, I make antidote sick. So oxy, I'm Zanny, soft as cyanides, kiss nose candy, blow hell dust with methadone methods, think Heisenberg, Kalana pintails on chemtrails. I've been held the most addictive. I'm so dope, oxytocin potency, spit dopamine. I'm dope. I'm dope. Fresh off the fentanyl patch with a restless, reckless tongue, call it plug talk. Don't ever think you can throw words at wizards who bleed morphine, sweat, snow, and dream, and CCs of alchemy. I'm so dope with it. I give the hopeless a fearless voice that's just as dope as the ancestors hoped. Appreciate y'all, truly. So I've been doing so many things recently, but still trying to make sure I make time to write, because I continue to be inspired by every poet that's in our cipher, every poet in our network, every poet within earshot I learn from. And I collect that energy, right? Because it continues to charge me, and I only hope to disperse it back into the community. So I frequent different writing spaces, and this one came from a workshop from the Daughter of Krypton. She normally hosts a 45-minute write, Phynne-Belle, and this is just something that came out of it, a short piece. But the prompt here was, every villain is the hero of his own story. Turn fantasy pages into reality-based scriptures of broken bizarro bottles, burnt to crispy, glistening shine of clarity, barely holding on to what I believe to be real. Past plugged in parental parameters of clockwork orange, red, blue, and green boundaries that latitude and longitude lies with crisscross coordinates coast to coast, drinking galaxies of hope from goblets of circumstances. Consequences running down greedy chins, dribbling, pretending to be bourbon bubbles, babbling brook and Babylon backyards where inglorious bastards make drastic decisions, drunk off schnapps on jagged rocks to intoxicate senses, lynching brain cells replaced with jail cell, hell's bells ringing in ears, bright as gavel strikes from highest court of cursed land. Looking down from Capitol Hill turned Mount Olympus, part reptile masters that boa constrict life that from children of contention, shaped like conflict, molded out of food stamps, an unlevel playing field, the size of 4 centuries worth of nefarious collapse of all things black and beautiful and loud and shrouded in generation after generation of miseducation, giving degrees of deceit, made infantry of infants, afflicted by mistress of ascension, sleeping with demons that claim oppression as birthright, call it bipartisan oxygen, octagon molecules that rear naked, choke lifeless, not written for curriculum-based classroom, but hidden in minimum security subscript turn lessons to strikes, where they become umpire. No one is safe when skin is in and pigmentation is out by a mile, stadium worth of fanatics making men rich faster than field trips to strip clubs, show relevance of residence, standard barrier. Behind all-seeing eyes of mighty dollars printed by shot callers who spell out danger in whole number increments. Odd and even paper-cut wrists bleed cynicism, spewing stem cell R&D, luxury brand behavior, and million-pound trust fund language made Masonic mysteries mainstays on Main Street in Middle America. Lord of the Rings turned fallacy magically reality, where villains become heroes for dictators, dictating destructive tendencies, making policies plastered on privileged pages, part and parcel of Magna Carta, Marvel Endgame that snap this madness and make America their brand of great again. Appreciate y'all, really. I truly do. I truly do. So again, the folks who know me, I am truly a social justice poet, but I've been through some things in my life that have led me to this point, right? And one of the poems that really speak to that time and space and transition is a poem that speaks of my time in the military. So it really was one of those transitions to me, and you will hear in the poem how much of a change it has brought to me. But it has made me even worse. Better in a lot of ways, in the best of ways, but also worse in the best of ways too. Shout out to the vets. This is in cadence. Standing at crossroads of summer and madness, already on borrowed time, labeled problem, voted least likely to live past 18, running from a fortune teller's tale with path and palm, I left home to join the army. The day I left, my mama cried. She just knew I would surely die because I was weak. Oh, I was weak, but I joined the army. Never mind what I thought I knew. This was hard work, did more before 5 a.m. than some would do in a lifetime. Questioned every breath, my body cried out in excruciating bliss. Kill! I stepped into someone's nightmare. Shoot to kill. And if he ain't dead, we gotta reload, and shoot him again. Breathe. Sight picture. Aperture, alignment, scan, your lane. First target, 50 meter. My mama was there when I left. My daughter was there when I left. My son was there. My fear was there. My life was there when I left. But that's the reason I left. You're right. Worst of the worst, berserker mode, earned blood stripes, low crawling, infiltration courses, and 50 cow showers, fixed bayonets and hand-to-hand stance, made butt stroke series, mad reflex to win at all costs, because now every day is some good hard work. Sounds like, of course, it's morning hard work, 5 miles at Old Dark 30, hard work, pounding the pavement in cadence, hard work. Carrying history in this rough way is just over 400 years of misconduct the UCMJ created articles for toward every loyal Marine, sailor, airman, buffalo soldier, and hellfighter who put their lives on lines for a country and cause and takes ours freely. Mama, can't you see? Done to me, what this army's done to me. Oh, I had to get in step with misery, tested my spirit, and racism showed its pale face. Felt the agony of road marching Kentucky summer sun. Felt, but heartbreak taught me to push past my limits and get in the step. Right old live, keep in the step. Kevlar garments proudly declare Uncle Sam ain't rid of me yet. Stitched in script to maintain grip over hearts of men and women ready to die in any theater or combat mission. No biggie, nothing made sense. So I learned guts made the grass grow. No atheists in foxhole, tracer rounds on Blackout Drive, and you hear the choppers hovering. This was a taste of strength, a finely tuned instrument of demolition forged in mile after mile of singing repetitious commands. Kill the enemy, take control. So early in the morning. Demented instructions scratched into lullabies to serenade enemies into afterlives. A minister of war praying for death, make them fear this gas-powered shoulder fired, locked and loaded. Hooah! So tightly into my repetition with a one shot, one spill, sent a mass disposition. Mama, can't you see what this army's done to me? Gave me a weapon. Fighting injustice abroad and imperialism at home, a new double V campaign, still dying, still fighting, still dying, still fighting, still dying in the same mud with the same blood, the same fucking no love. In the name of America, I hope we made you proud. Appreciate y'all. All right. So, just under 9 minutes left, for real. I'm serious about that time. I don't want to keep y'all longer than I absolutely need to. Seriously, I got it cooking. All right. So I definitely want to give you 3 more pieces in this next 8.5 minutes or so. So forgive me if I go maybe over a couple minutes. But I want to give you my 2 newest pieces and my newest performance piece. This is the heavy one. So this is Sinatra soliloquies. Bang, bang, they shot you down. Bang, bang, that awful sound. When gray matter mattered less than can of Crisco, cooking crooked schemes made dream makers infamous with a bullet plus a bullet spit from twisted tungsten tongue lashing leviathans with hell for brain serving sulfur stuffed shotgun serenades, the silent sonic boom in lungs that coalesce the people into belligerents because they said there will be no Black Messiah. Bang, bang. Came cries from front row massacre of Muhammad's master minister, Mr. Mayhem, part messenger, all magnet of millions made moments, monumental making, super soldiers of super fruit harvested from poplar trees, resting on restless spirits, relishing in raucous excuses to call devils, and devilish vernacular. Some call blasphemy, he called gospel by way of Garvey. They called rabble rousing, tying in lies, lying in lie that lie in straight lines behind mandated sanctions to placate philanthropists who used to play bang bang, marksmen and stark sheets who creep under safety of same darkness they despise. flying at Oswald angles and magic sorcery, using timelines to tie binds into knots not meant for black men, tangled in bloody spangled banner, waving glorious old glory and glorified gory stories of America, cosmos wanted. I mean, Cucamonga cracker killers. I mean, fugitive slave actors and scenes behind Mumia-style dreams that maximum security, truth to conspiracy, bang, bang, choo-choo train, chitty, chitty, bang, bang, Lorraine Motel and country music, country twang, white slang for what the dog can have, gets a day pass for trespassing on good Christian land with change in hand that counts like skin. I mean, these damn black heathens, I mean, kind of operating just outside right-wing hierarchy, navigating tragedies through green book lookouts for folks in Killer Clan country where they Earl Ray sunrise into shots of good morning with a splash of gunpowder and cowardly casing of what they consider patriotism. That awful sounds a lot like 21 gun salute ringing of new colorblind Jim Crow plantation christening. Bang, bang, gang, gang, make godfathers of good fellas with greedy gangster gullets, guaranteed gargantuan gambits of gentrification from greatest generation general or grand imperial drug dealer. I mean, death dealer that starts every negotiation with bang, bang, so Django, let that thing go. They wrangle Mossberg pump action Winchester M16 from revolver. Spin, spin, spin the barrel, click, and lesson, weapons that ring out riot sparkles with savage arms. Hear the desert eagles screaming on dusty streets high as noon, snorting power. Powder from Remington barrels using firing pins describe their Beretta-based narrative. Bang, bang, their hating shot you down. Gunsmoke that reeks of the American dream. Oh, goodness. I truly appreciate y'all, really. I truly, truly do. All right, 2 more pieces. Unfortunately, I will go over the time, but maybe just by like 2 minutes, really, really. All right.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to interrupt.
Yes.
I usually don't like to interrupt when features are on, but stop doing that. I don't care if you go over 10 minutes. Do your thing. You do you. You watch everyone on the screen, man. You've got us mesmerized, so do your thing.
Thank you. Thank you. I truly, truly appreciate all of you. Really, really, truly. Because again, I know, right? I don't always get a chance to rip, right? Folks don't get a chance to hear my poetry much because I am so focused on sharing my energy with you because you've given me so much. All of you, you've given me so much over this time that we've all been together. You've given me so much. Sometimes I feel like all I can do is just give you the energy. It's just, okay. So, whew, thank you, truly. So this is another prompt that I found, also provided by the daughter of Krypton in the Inktober. I guess you could call it a double entendre. Also connected with my man, Keeper of Concrete. So this this is the May's time of day. It's new shit. At crux of juxtaposition, 10th dimension, labyrinth, footprints find Frankie and Beverly form, weathering storms and palms of sorcerers dancing with wands, become pendulums, swinging, slinging, guillotine, ink, slicing scriptures into hieroglyphs. Corner to corner, every turn saga continues, wandering, winding wilderness on whims of belief that this time, turn time around to counterclockwise hourglass logic behind rose-tinted lenses crafted to kaleidoscope euphoria into stained glass reminders of Illuminati illusions of choice anyway. New Merovingian, conveniently packaged in easy to swallow blue pill MML coded language, greatest advancement from glitch factory assembly line to automate automatons that come with installation instructions. I mean, life sentence. I mean, suggested prescription that behooves you to take daily. Side effects include sleepless interstellar inceptions by way of delicate chemical compounds to balance stress on feeble minds, because all work and no play make jacks of every suit sharp as bowling balls, rolling, rolling, rolling in shining fashion, tumbling in opium satisfaction, all in good faith. That dedicated slave, I mean, rat in cage, won't wither into wasted wraith, walking dead on Wall Street cityscapes of one-ways and stop signs turn wrecking balls that weigh a ton come running into your rigorous routine. Who moved the cheese? Because hopeless, hungry hostages get hostile at home with idle hands that abandon prime directive of vertigo polymorphism. Simply follow programming. You're not lost. Your friendly neighborhood interface puts you inner space at real time, light speed. Sit back, leave driving. I mean, GPS gracefully pacifying simpletons. I mean, driving to these calculation chauffeurs who don't fall asleep, who don't fall, who don't sleep, make you obsolete versions of primary design, outdated, headed toward inevitability. Packed on pirate hacked highways. I mean, Cyber Mondays leave pockets anemic and super packed obesity rates rising higher than Dow Jones barrel rolls of crude dice prices on monotonous monopoly boards. So they backroom double down, New Deal straight lines into tangled webs of deception. A network of complexity leave you panicking, drastically seeking Stephen King puzzles for those Wes Craven more than just shallow screams from electrical simulation. They want that real life experience. Patience, human. Assimilation is coming. It won't hurt long. Just lay back and let Oracle take you away. Welcome to 01. I told y'all I had my timer set for real. All right. So yeah, that's just something. It just came like when I saw the Maze, and I was talking to my man Maze, and I was like, yo, the first thing I thought about was, Frankie Beverly and, Stephen King and The Shining. And that's why you heard those references in there, A lot of folks who also know me know that I am very rooted in pop culture. So there's a lot of references to that because I believe people speak in pop culture a lot of ways. Right? Some people may not know where they get things from, get sayings from, or mannerisms from, but usually it comes from some sort of pop culture, right? It just becomes a main part of our lexicon. So it is really just one of those things that to me, it's like language, right? Is it another form of language? So I will end the set with this. This is probably, honestly, no BS, for real. This is probably my most experimental piece that I've written so far. This past summer, I was in New York, and I ran across so many incredible poets, but I ran across a style that I was not familiar with. It's a style of poetry called a cento poem. And it connects multiple things together and make one, right? Usually these are, from my understanding, was about music. So it almost sounded like a jukebox poem to me. But then when I heard it, it almost sounded like a DJ beat juggling, right? Because I used to DJ for a while as well. Used to produce my own music before I got into poetry. And so, shout out Catrice Greer in the building. So all of these things just kind of have, built new dendrites in my brain that said, oh no, we can do different things with these words. So again, this is the most experimental piece I've done. It's a cento. It is soaked in hip hop. So forgive me if you can't catch all the references. But again, this is just one of those things. Whew. This is 7 Deadly Blends. Thinking of a master plan, 'cause ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand. Pen turned cannon, steps back, paint pictures and stanzas, necromancer, keeping lost, reanimated, juggling crazy BPMs. All I know is purpose. When it comes to these bars, bleed scars, seen stars, these are nurture particles, part and parcel to original rhythms, transfixing records to thirsty bloodstreams for crackling to get it cracking from stacks with stacks of wax. I separate the fact from the folklore. Let's estimate the tracks that I spoke for. Euphoria is the most that you could hope for. Felt bones quiver, then break when bass erupt in riffs that send rift through time and space at risk of auditory combustion. Cut and scratch that real shit back. I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, shine like this. No longer basking in blinding day breaks of despair. Mash up transformer, scratch lasers across hungry skies, starving from dilapidated airwaves. On my urban Magic Johnson, I'm enterprising. I keep it ghetto like the hood before they gentrified it. When broken glass everywhere made furious styles of boys in the hood of South Bronx blessing. 5 deadly MCs and their grandmaster brought a message of life lessons, helped you rock steady down Beach Street of cardboard kingdoms on concrete coliseums of characters that pop locks made head spins and silent ciphers where words became verbs. I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, whipping work. Hallelujah. We plant seeds on darkest days or darkest nights. Green lantern patterns chase fear from spears of inspiration. Call it new shit. My words are diamonds dug out of mine. Spit them, polished. Look how they shine. Whole world loves it when poets outcast remain silent. Black album with Crown Royal on Exit 13. Bumping speaker box, basking in the love below. How I got over KD3. Are you listening? Are your eardrums open for christening? To touch your De La Soul with hip-hop tempo control. We 444 plus 44 more. We separate the fact from the folklore, moving in musical movements of melodies of mayhem. It was written to balance the score like Fuji's or Coogee rap. Are you listening? Thinking of a master plan. I'm enterprising, whipping work, polished for christening. Listening to records on repeat, make freestyle fellowship foundation format a standard where gladiators walk on water from Carter to Carter's, changing this vanguard. I'm enterprising, grind like that to shine like this. Spit them, polish, look how they shine. Rhymes never thought to stand against time, make nothing but sweat inside my hand. A dedication to yes, I can and will, plus Jazzy Jeff and best believe. Clean or dirty, we stay working these wheels of steel. I think I'm Big Meech. Are you listening? I'm enterprising, thinking, christening, eardrums with the blessing of hip hop. I truly appreciate y'all so very much. Really, you really don't understand how much it really means to me for all of y'all to be here this morning, this evening, wherever you are in the world. It truly makes a difference to me and how I deliver this, right? How I just can't thank you enough. Truly. Of course, I have more poems. I'm a poet, but I want to hear everyone else. Please, well, everyone just continue to do what you do, please.
I want to ask the congregation, the gathering. I would love to have an encore. What say you? What say you? Yeah?
Yeah, encore.
I you know, it's my mic, my prerogative. You know how this rolls.
So you don't need to hear from us then, boss man. Just go ahead and let it be.
Well, no, I just want you to think it's democratic to some degree.
Oh my God. Okay, we go start a democracy. We can change a lot of stuff. I just say go with you. You the boss. You the host. Just go ahead. See, we wasted time playing. You might as well just say go ahead.
Some gods have to do the U-turn. That's
all right. So there you go. We got the vote.
All right.
One more, my brother.
One more, and I'm out. One more. For real. Y'all just for real. Like, again, y'all are like son to a Kryptonian. You know what I mean? You just make me more powerful, right? And that in turn makes me understand that I'm responsible for that energy, for that power. And so I have to make the best use of it. So anytime I'm in a situation like this, all I ever hope to do is energize you and inspire you, right? To go and be the best that you are, to go beyond being, you know, what people say that you are, or people say that you're not. So far past that, so far beyond that, right? Because had we listened to those things 10, 15 years ago, maybe more, maybe less, we may not be in this moment, right? I've had so many of my friends that say, you know, these spaces have saved their lives. And I'm one of those people. This is a piece that I wrote recently. A couple of you might have heard this one, but it's also another type of a transition piece. This is where tomorrow meets yesterday. When conscious awakens with sharp shards of magnified glory, sending nightmares screaming for cover under puddles of tears that vertigo dolly into natural occurrence where clocks 4 alarm fire carpe diem to REM sleep. Put backfields in motion, scraping yesterday's failure from news cycle reflections of circumstances, crack mirror inflections, imperfections, and images with complicated choices. Hit terrain 100 miles and running for better horizons with treasure in turnstiles that sound like promotion or refund or technicality, which happens to break you out of perfectly confined coffins, caskets, cubicles that abuse you and got the nerve to call it policy. Reprimanded for roaming beyond company lines within confines of handbook spines that combine treachery wrapped in luxury, finished with a bow marked middle class, with a splash of bougie, still make you more modified Mazda, makeshift Maybach masked as Cadillac, less Tesla, Airbus compressor, frequent flyer of opulent wings that soar so high that don't come with price tags, because that would add lag. They high speed, low drag, miles above pennies for wishing wells falling from starving wallets packed with bills marked late or final notice or disconnection from power junction, grid square dysfunction, turn streets to cage with sharp edges, make fast and furious red lights skittish. Beauties and beasts and Buicks and Jeeps parked next to old school on crumbling street with trues and bows to cruise control sorrow from down and out to Paradise City where grass grows like Richie greenery in Humboldt County, proudly loud as Hendrix chords plug into outliers, cookbooks to bubble and pop your simulation into Matrix Manifesto, trying to Autobot Decepticons, Republicans, Comic Cons, using colorful pages to Galactus every fantastic 4 score plus 4 more, the silver surf semblance of normalcy into ravaged remnants where reenactments become truth used to educate youth of time machine tinctures called free lunch hidden in curriculum, blue collar proving grounds when great was commonplace. Press escape in Future 500 fashion, call it Mayday, bail out a big business or bail out of burning bonds, turn skyscrapers, bottom feeders, building bridges between bastards and blasphemous to befuddle bantamweight brains, make alchemists of catalysts and call it rain. Black clouds bring investor weather to flood bottom line and bull market trends that lend to evolutionary AI. Get involved. Secure silk slivers of shares where wealth is shared by and for wealthy Waltons and Washingtons with West Wing whims that become hymns, speaking proof into action with deadly consequences. All in the name, all in the names, all in the names of denominations of damnation that reinforce there are days like this, the days of our lives paid for by the blood of complacency we call paychecks. Peace, y'all.
Thunder God, storm God, oh my Lord. Wow. Snap it up, clap it up, give him a big hug, guys. What a set. Man, you know, for most of us, we get to see you hosting. We rarely get to see you reciting. And that power, that passion that you bring to when you're hosting. Because I'm like you, man, we put this on for them, right? To hear their voice, to give the voiceless, like you said, a voice. But it's good to hear the ones that are hosting, the opportunity to hear their truth and their passion and what drives them. That was brilliant. How are you feeling right now?
I mean, you can physically see. I really give everything to what I do, so I'm a little burnt. Honestly, I'm a tad bit burnt, really, because like I really do give everything to what I do. So I feel great though. Really, I feel just as energized as I did when I first got in here. A lot more actually. Because I am a conduit again. All of the energy that you brought here today is only just being transferred back to you. That is heavy, but
it's that loop, right? We put it out, 100%. We put it back, and it just flows. It flows and it flows, and the more it flows, the bigger it gets, and the bigger it gets. And that's the beauty and the power of this, is that we can do that with each other and permeate it out, ripple it out into the world, right? So. Right. That's why I asked you how you were feeling, and I'm glad to hear you're just as energized as when you came in. We all know you as Elemen2al the Poet. I don't know if I've ever asked you this. What's your actual name?
Wow, no, I don't. Very few people ask me that, and I've just got a situation recently where I've had to start using my real name instead of what I consider a matrix name.
Right.
But my real first name is Marcellus.
Oh, okay.
Nice. And so with that, just trying to come up with different ways of playing on those things and connecting to who I really am. My father actually named me after Muhammad Ali. Before Muhammad Ali changed his name was Cassius Marcellus Clay.
That's right.
So
all right, so you're named after the champ.
Yes.
I actually met Ali back in the day. When I lived in California, my dad worked at Paramount Pictures, and so I went to Hollywood High. So after football practice, I'd always make it down to the studio so I can get a ride, because we live outside of LA. And then one day I showed up after practice as usual, and instead of wandering the lot, he goes, "I got a surprise for you." So I go, "What?" He goes, "Just follow me." And he was on a soundstage doing something, and I've never been a person that's struck by celebrity at all. I really don't care about that stuff. But that man, so that's one of the highlights of my life, that I got to meet the champ. I got to meet Muhammad Ali. So it was pretty cool.
That's amazing. That's amazing. There's not a whole lot of people in the world that can make that claim.
No, right? And I was 18 at the time.
Is great. That's fantastic.
I was 18 at the time, and it's still fresh in my mind. So I mean, some people just have a presence about him. He was that guy.
Absolutely.
And you're like that as well. You've got this presence, this energy about you. So thanks for sharing your name. Like I said, I don't think I've ever asked you in all the conversations we've had. I just went with it. But as a poet and poetry, what does that mean to you?
Honestly, being a poet is a responsibility. And listen, folks who know me know I'm just, I love anime, right? So I look at it very seriously. Being a poet is, in my opinion, similar to a scholar, but different from a scholar, because scholars are bound by the rigorous boundaries of curriculum. Poets are not. However, with that power, not to just steal the cliche, but I think we all know what comes after that, right? And so I actually do take that seriously. So it means to me that I am a translator, that I am a viewer of the world, right? which also means that I have to be a visionary to see how things unfold, right? I'm also a chess player. So I approach poetry similar to how I approach chess, right? I'm trying to win this particular match, right? Or trying to capture your attention with this particular poem. So I have to be thinking multiple steps ahead, right? And not just with this poem, not just with this stanza, not just with just this line, but with everything that I do, right? Similar to education, right? Everything builds upon itself, right? You can't do the Pythagorean theorem without knowing 1 + 1 is 2, right? And so I look at my poetry the exact same way. Everything that I've done, I built upon it because I'm still evolving, right? And it's important that I always respect that, because there are people that don't have ways with words that we do, right? But with that, I feel that I am supposed to give people something they can use. Every single time, I'm supposed to do that. That is my charge, right? Is to translate the madness of the world and give it to people in a package that they can not only understand, but they can connect with and resonate with them. And they take it with themselves. They take it, and then they do something else with it. You know, to me, it's more than just being an educator. It's more than just being an entertainer. It's actually one of those things that it's foundational to me. I mean, in the 1850s, poets were the #1 entertainment source of America because it was radio, and poets are the world's greatest storytellers. And to me, I just try to make sure that I'm keeping in the vein of that. I'm keeping in the vein of the people who were said poets that actually made poetry what we know it as today. Yeah. I speak because of them, and all of that responsibility is not just mine, but I always keep that in mind when I'm writing and when I'm delivering my work.
That's so brilliantly said. I completely agree with you. I found a quote, and I still can't find who wrote it, but no society exists without poets. Even if the act of creating is performed in solitude, poets do not live in a bubble. They are not hermits, shut away in ivory towers, but creators of a universe that they offer us to share. Whether their poetry is written down or sung, poets play a very important educational role.
And it has been a part of the American way of life since the beginning, because I do believe the entire book of Psalms in the King James Version Bible are poems.
They are poems.
I know they're songs, but they're poems.
Well, I mean, it was practiced on the continent before it was called Africa. It's been practiced in the Middle East. It's in practice. It's poets, to me, one of the centerpieces of society. And you're right. Yeah, it may be cliché, but you talk about pop culture. With great powers come great responsibility. And as poets, I think whether I agree with your worldview or your political view doesn't matter. I respect your job as a poet to speak your truth based on how you see the world. And can I step into it, even if I don't agree with the premise, and appreciate the message and appreciate the passion and the commitment to speaking your truth. And that's what I think sometimes people miss, even in the poetry community. Doesn't matter if I like your stuff or agree with it, but man, the power to do that and then having the responsibility to share it with others, I take that seriously as well. So
absolutely, there's a level of fearlessness in poetry that you may not find in a lot of other spaces, right?
Yeah.
I've recently been in a classroom and telling students, we all know public speaking is one of the world's greatest fears.
Yep.
Okay. And then you take that and you compound it with your own creativity, like that's nightmare levels to the extreme.
Yeah. But can be overcome. I used to always, all my students, they always had to present a version of the assignment, because how else are you going to overcome that fear by not doing it? So good to hear you say that, man. You kind of answered this question when you being the host now of the Monday night online for the UK Cafe, in regards to, you want to, continue that platform, that beacon to shine a light, to invite others to share their passion. So what, it's been what, almost a year now, or coming up on a year?
Mm-hmm.
What surprises you about hosting the show, and what have you learned?
Great question. What surprises me about this show, this week is going to be, I believe, 185. And there continues to be a stream of new voices. So we are now, what, a year, maybe almost 2 years post-pandemic lockdown, right? And people are still just finding the online space, right? And listen, every week that I send out these things, right, I send out the emails for the open mic, and people, hit me up on the back channel and say, hey, I thought this was in person. I didn't even know that there was an online space. Yeah. So there's that. What I've learned is poetry comes in so many magnificent forms. Like, being in the audience is one thing. Honestly, being in the audience, and when I was just in the audience, being a loud commentator, just you know what I mean? Just, oh man, all this energy. But now being on this side of it and actually really, really doing my style of hosting, I'm learning even that much more of how much genius exists in poetry. Like, I mean, like, people that I truly believe their IQs are above, just out of the roof type people, the way they come with these always awe-inspiring pieces of artistry. Always. Yeah. They continue to surprise me with it. And listen to all of y'all in here that have been rocking with me, right? Some of these themes that I come up with, because I actually come up with them, right? I have basically all the themes mapped out for the rest of the year. I'm always like apprehensive, like, I don't know if they're going to dig this one. I don't know how poets are going to get this. I know how I would approach it if I saw some of these themes. But I continuously I just feel blessed when I hear, poets like Zamkonto and Lantern Carrier, and they come through and like, oh, this is on theme and it's this. For instance, I had a theme that was When in Rome, right? And Zamkonto came through and said, friends, Roman countrymen, lend me your ears. It's things like that. It's things like that, man. So it's also it's an evolution now, right? So it's not just me taking the inspiration from that someone gives, it's now me being able to inspire poets in different ways. And that's euphoric.
Yeah. Well, you do a masterful job, my brother. You know me, I don't pop into the rooms as often because I'm doing a lot of different things, but you'll see me again. I enjoy it because you bring a level of intellect and humility at the same time to what you do, right? And it's a unique thing to have that passion and that drive, but still be humble, because not everyone can do it, and not everyone chooses to let those words go to their head. So kudos to you.
I still fight with imposter syndrome like it's a big, fat, hairy monster. Trust and believe.
Yeah. You have a beautiful mind, a beautiful brain. So I'm gonna ask you a simple question. What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite word?
Do I have a favorite word? That's interesting. And that goes into the damn theme that I have this week, right? which is building blocks, right? What's the word? What was the word that kind of started it for you? What was the thing? I would think one of my favorite words has always been photosynthesis, because it means so many different things depending on what angle you're looking at it from, right? Because it's a word, but it also signifies a thing, a process. But if you break it apart, it becomes even more things. You know what I mean? So it's a transformer. It's like multiple transformers hiding in a transformer. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I truly appreciate words like that.
Nice. Did you enjoy school when you were, like from elementary, middle school, high school? Did you enjoy school?
I did. I had sometimes a rough go of it just because of, lower SES kind of status, but I actually did. I was, athlete and into music and creativity. I used to write songs and sing in choirs and things like that. So I actually did enjoy school, the lessons in there, once I found a way to enjoy it and not it felt that someone was forcing me to go. It's like, okay, I'm here. So what can I actually get from it? And then when I went into post-secondary, it was just like, oh man, this is what I've really been waiting for, is to learn these things.
Right. Where'd you grow
up? In between California and Texas.
Okay.
So little thing that, it's not necessarily a brag, but it's kind of the life that I lived. I've gone to every level of education in both California and Texas.
Oh, nice. Both. Okay. So
even all the way to getting my degree. I got my associate degree in California and my bachelor's degree in Texas. It's crazy.
Oh, nice. Where in Cali did you grow up?
That's another one. I was born in the city, in San Francisco. But then I lived all over the valley. I lived in Oakland and Richmond and Stockton and Sacramento and Modesto and
you're a northern boy then.
Yeah. I'm a NorCal cat, but then I left and came back, and then it was all SoCal. So I've also lived in close to San Diego, Oceanside, Vista, the North County area of San Diego.
Yeah, I lived in Hollywood, and then my dad bought a place out in Pomona. So for those short years, California, it gets into you. So my brother and I still talk about those times living in California and Pop's working at the studio and all that stuff. Anyway, I know we have another vet, CP Mays, is on this, and people always say, thank you for your service. When you hear that, when people say thank you for your service, what are you hearing? How does that make you feel?
So I know some vets don't like to hear that, right? But to me, it's a way of people saluting you, and they can't really salute you.
Right.
Because by saying that, it's saying, you know what? I couldn't have done that. You were willing to put your life on the line for what we do. The least that I can do is thank you for that, right? Regardless if you were, a bona fide toilet scrubber, or, you were in the plane, dropping things off to the enemy, right? For me, it's just a respect level that says, you know what? The only reason that we're here, continue to do, and the Nazis didn't win, and these other conflicts didn't win, is because people like you have decided to say it's our responsibility to protect what we know and love, regardless if we like it or not. I didn't say that. You heard in my poems, like, yo, it's not about liking or not. It's about respecting where you are and fighting for what is yours.
Yeah, and I love that answer. My brother and uncle served. I had a grandfather from back in the day that fought in the first big war, the war that was supposed to end all wars, World War II. When you did your Memorial Day show, I popped in because we were talking before that, and you'd asked me to come, so of course I'm going to honor you. And like I said, I don't do Memorial Day here in Canada. We have Remembrance Day, because to me those are just days of celebration of war. Yes. I wish we didn't need a military, but we understand the world we live in, and America is definitely not a perfect entity. America is just an idea. It's an idea that can slip through your fingers if you're not careful. But I still rather live here, because there are so many that put on the uniform. So, if you put on the uniform and choose to serve, whether it's in peacetime or wartime, I don't care. Yeah, I'll respect that. So, you know how I feel about that. So I thank you for that. You know, I could talk to you all day because, you know, when we jump on and have our own private chats, we talk for hours. So I want to be respectful like you to the other people waiting. And I hope people are enjoying this because, you know, we're getting to see you in a different light. You know, the hat is off and, you know, we're getting to see the man that's not just the host. Yeah. Couple of more questions before we wrap this up. Do you have a favorite curse word?
I used to, until I learned what it's about, right? So I have a real good friend of mine, and we always kind of look at the dichotomy between poetry and comedy, right? And how very, very just again parallel in a lot of ways. They differ. They spin off after that, but they're parallel in a lot of ways. I say that because, you know, one of my favorite comics was, you know, Bernie Mac. And he said, motherfucker is a noun, right? It could talk about a person, place, or thing, right? Until I learned what the actual origins of that word, and then it became my least favorite word. So I would probably say my favorite curse word is coward. And look, to be 100% honest with y'all, right? This is also something that I labeled my father with. Love my father. My father passed away in 2013. And listen, but coward because it has such a deeper rooted meaning, right? Because, and I say that because my father abused my mother when I was young, right? So to me, there's no better way to curse a man for doing things that he thinks he's right, other than calling him a coward, which is also saying that he's filled with all the wrong things, right? Like he never tasted an ounce of fearlessness because you're an absolute coward.
That's why you and I vibe so well. We share so much in our past. Because I think one of the worst things a father can show his son is the complete disrespect to the mother of that child.
Yes, indeed. You know? Yes, indeed.
I've seen my father do that too. So love him to death, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate your honesty on that. Let's wrap this up, because I know you want to hear the other poets. And
absolutely I do. I'm not going nowhere. I want to hear everybody's work.
Yeah, I want them to have their say as well. If God does exist, my brother, and you're approaching the pearly gates, what would you want to hear God say to you?
Oh shit, here come that damn black revolutionary. Like, y'all, I don't know if y'all, I told y'all to get ready for this cat. Damn it, now here he come. He about to be loud as shit, talking that black righteous space shit. Now look now. Look. It's a lot of folks that you know and love up in here, right? Don't come in here with all that shit. Don't come in here with that. All right, we cool. We just chilling, right? It's clubs and DJs, we gonna kick it, but don't come in here with that shit. All right.
Yeah, funny. I remember Eddie Griffin doing it when he was doing one of his sets, and he was talking about that. Hey, Jesus, come here. Like, that nigga we made, he's on right now. He's funny. Yeah.
Hey, like, y'all better be careful, like, for real. Like,
you crack.
Yeah, I said Fred Hampton, like, listen, like, yo, they gonna be, listen, in the perfect world, they'll be like, yo, let him in, like, come on, man, like, we've been waiting on you, man. Yeah. Like, yeah, you know, but no, honestly, really, it would just be like, oh, shit, like, now we about to get some stuff done, like, you know what I mean? Somebody put hell on notice that we about to cause some ruckus. You know?
I always tell my friends, you know, if God is what we say, what I was conditioned to believe growing up, I don't share that anymore. But when I show up, and God might say, you know what, you're going the wrong way. I said, well, okay, I'll turn around and go the other way. But before I do, you and I need to sit down and talk because you made me this way. So if that day comes, we're gonna have a very interesting chat.
I like that. Because listen, if you turn me away, I understand it, right? Because I probably did some things that you may feel that were unsavory. That's cool. But please realize, I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Spawn or the character Spawn, right? It's like, okay, that's cool. You send me there, but then they're probably just going to send me back here with my rowdy revolutionary ass and try to take over your spot. So which one would you rather choose?
Exactly. So. Anyway, brother, what an amazing experience for me. Like I said, because, over the course of the year, we've had a number of conversations. We're overdue for another one. I just enjoy getting to know you. I think you're an amazing human. You're an amazing man, from what I can tell. And your father may have been a coward, but I think your father, there's a part of him is gone. That's the man I wanted to be. So his example led you to where you are. His example led you to where. So I like to think our fathers are proud of the men that we've become. So
I am proud of my father. My father was a proud Marine that fought in Vietnam. I will kill someone over my father. You know what I mean? It's like Full Metal Jacket. You know what I mean? There are many like him, but this one is mine.
Exactly. And my dad did the same thing. Did a lot of good, did a lot of beautiful, did bad. But that's everyone. We all do stuff. That's the full human experience. So anyway, man, I just want to thank you
all.
for your
really
time,
thank you all for the time,
your heart,
for the questions.
It's an opportunity for us to get to know each other in a different way. And this is why, I like to do the interview, and the questions initially when I used to just do 10 questions. I stole it from the Actors Studio. James Lipton, who stole it from a French interviewer, used to ask his invited artists these 10 questions. So as I go through this and I grow and learn, I modify it. So, but it's just a way for us to get to know each other outside of what we present in these square screens, right? So anyway, people, humans of the Inspired Poetry Corner, unmute yourself and show Brother Elemental some love for a spectacularly heartfelt, energy-filled set. Well done, brother. Well done.
Thank you, brother, for a wonderful set. Yes.
Right. You're just amazing, and now you see why so many people love going to the Eureka Poets Cafe and supporting the online Monday night shows. Yeah. So anyway, we'll continue on. I'll allow you to catch your breath, and let's just take a couple of deep breaths and let that just sit in our beings and our soul for a bit, because that was a complete treat. And I always tell poets, there's no need to compare ourselves to each other. That's why one of the reasons I don't do poetry competition. Everyone is brilliant in what they do. So I invite you, as your turn comes up, to own the moment. Embrace being on the spot. You've earned that. You are worthy to share your brilliance without comparing it to anyone else. So, as usual, after the feature, I always like to invite my friend from Greece, we all know her and love her, Alexandra, to kick off the Not Ready for Primetime Poets segment of the Inspired Poetry Corner. Alexandra. I keep telling Alexandra. Why do I do?
You didn't say Alexandria.
I wanted to just now. Anyway.
I just wanted to add to the initial conversation about social media that if we didn't have the internet, we would never have met each other, all of us. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we would never have been doing this. So this is 17. This light is mine. It is hyperphysical, illuminating in the golden tenderness of a poetic heart, discerning and choosing amongst inherited traits of Zeusian cultivation and Cronian egoism, along the exploration of an inner dialectic synthesis, indulging and abstaining, desecrating and purging, endeavoring to optimize our emotional mindset, attempting to restore ourselves and our earth from polluting elements. Our burnt terrains are mountain tops, haloed by rose dawns and rose dusks, bridging the gap between immutable, firm ideals and capricious, shady senses. On auroral mountain tops, enslaved worms transforming into quivering, resurrected butterflies, goldwing after goldwing. This zone is mine. It is releasing, leaping in the contemplative homage of a philosophic mind, intuiting and electing amongst dynamical antinomies of clear-winged visualization and cyclopic blindness, along the mission of idea-morphed Daedalian inventions, upheaving Minoan waves bursting forth from a pyroclastic flow of Aegean DNA. Frontier warriors anxious to restore our eco-formations. Our lands, our seas, our seven skies, 7 times blue, adjusting to natural and supernatural cosmic purposes. Argo's bow breaking into a sky sea of orgone, silver wave after silver wave. This union is mine. It is aura bonding, intensifying in the fiery sovereignty of an ascetic fulfillment, filtering and selecting amongst labyrinthine channels of Persephonic magnanimity and Tartarian beastliness, along the polymorphic emeralding of each individual unfolding. Line hearts and line minds, emancipating from lower and middle ranking hierarchies. In joyous exemption from demons and illusions, from resistance and time. Evolved phosphoric suns, activating towards the east, devolved dim spheres, deactivating towards the west. Delineating photodynamic and aphotic positions in dimorphic order. Sunborn unrestrained vibrancy dawning into our caves, luminiferous ether dazzling, vivid flame after vivid flame. This truth is mine. It is envisaging, polyvibrating in the vivifying fountain of pan-human axioms, clarifying and correcting amongst antithetic consciousnesses of trained logos and untrained themos, along the reshaping of each new age, aspiring to rise into advanced halcyon apogees formed by prime pan-universal rearrangements, superpositioned apotheosis, sending exalting poetico philosophy to torchbearers. Eris's nostalgia tuning into the eurythmic heartbeat of thriving, ascending astric galaxies, balancing on a symbiosis of cataclysmic and epiphanic laws of creation. Dodecahedron galaxies overflowing with humans and gods, reaching the borders of zenith beyond, after zenith beyond. This sweet flying is ours. It is absolute, emblazoning in the progression of the idea, the pan-fiery great idea. Thank you.
Brilliant as usual. Brilliant as usual. Such a soothing, meditative transition, but yet your words, there's a power. And like I said before, I think, you know, your research and where you are today is definitely coming through in your words. So anyway, thank you again for always being here and supporting us and leading the hit parade of Not Ready for Time poets. All right, from brilliance to brilliance. Up next, Neil, the mic is yours, my friend.
Thanks, Raul. I'm going to begin by just showing a visual, and hopefully everyone can see that. That's a terrific painting by an artist who's Iowa-based, and probably next year I hope to do a collaborative exhibition come launch of our work. We've done around 20 ekphrastic collaborations. So without further ado, the first one, and Elemental, I just want to say what a terrific set. And the first poem I'm going to read out is about chess. I play chess as well. And when you mentioned that, I couldn't help but pull this poem out, hopefully. And it's in response to the visual I just showed. The title is 8 because of the 8 rows. 8. White pawn, oh white pawn, where has your childhood gone? Once the game is started, it must be won, lost, or drawn. So make your first move. Is it one step or two? Anxiety and uncertainty does not behoove you. One step at a time. Once you move forward, you cannot head back. You get the hang of things. Looming right up ahead are the 2 cautious kings. One of them castled, the other surrounded by horses and men, as armored knights fall from their steeds. Oblique moving bishops are watching your deeds. Between each row lies a brook and a stream. How will Alice ever overtake the Red Queen? Just 8 rows to go, a whole lifetime ahead. How on earth will Alice defeat the big head? But defeat her she does, to become a white queen. And just as she does, that's the end of her dream. The checkered flag goes up, and Alice wakes up. Thank you. That's the first. And the second is a bit of a zany one. Of late, Raul, I've been writing a whole bunch of zany poems, but bear with me. The title is Siphoned 6 Sailors. And again, it sort of draws on all the alliteration I heard in Elemental's lovely set. Between a rock and a place they'd rather not be, mistress of mayhem, monster of the maelstrom, they eluded her embracing eddy, her lethal lasso lures, but the wanton whirlpool wench then blew bellicose belches, belligerent burps that blasted funnels of fury that inveigled them to an island. There she siphoned 6 sailors, sumptuous servings, 1 for each hungry, hideous head. Sea salt season for the slimy serpent of the shore, into the 6 cavernous mouths that needed to be fed. Tongue-tied with terror, their cries consumed by the cave, their screams sinking, suck hold of the sea, even as they mispronounce, as I still do, the 2 names of death, Scylla and Charybdis. I think I got that right. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you so much. You know, it's amazing just to watch how, you know, every time I see you get more comfortable. I remember the first time you came here, you know, just the nerves. It's funny, the nerves never leaves us, no matter how old you get. So I don't know, just it's not so much that nerves. It's just there's a comfort in you, and maybe where you are in life that I feel every time you recite. So I just thank you for being here and for being the brilliant writer that you are. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, from brilliance to brilliance. Up next, we have a young man. I hope I'm saying this right. Shafkat. He's first time here, first time reciting at the Inspired Poetry Corner. So, my friend, and thank you for your contributions to the conversation before the show started. The mic is yours. The floor is yours to do up to 2 poems if you wish. You have to unmute. You're still muted. Let me see if I can unmute you. I don't know if, can you hear us? You're muted, my friend.
Hello?
Oh, there you are. There you are. Okay.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly now. Thank you.
Yes. Unfortunately, I told you that you can't see me because we have got the electricity problem here. Yeah. As I have already written you that, yeah, the electricity goes frequently here in Kashmir Valley. So, but you can hear me well.
We can hear you well.
I'm very thankful to you that, yeah, I'm very thankful to you that I have been given an opportunity to be the part of this very program, and this will help me to promote me as a poet throughout the world. I'm highly grateful to you, sir, that you gave me the opportunity to be the part of this very program. So I am Shafkat Aziz Hajam from India, Kashmir. I am a children's poet, and I have also authored a book for adults known as The Unknown Wounded Heart that will be released in 2024. Yeah, I am also the author of 2 value-based rhyme books, poetry books for children, and they are titled as The Canary's Voice and The Cuckoo's Voice. The Cuckoo's Voice is available on Amazon as well. And I am also the poetry contest winner of 2023, no, sorry, 2022 September, and that contest was organized by Maxivit from USA, Kiss Me, Florida. And one more thing, my poems are published in so many international anthologies, Prodigies there, Wheel Song is there, Plautos Creative Magazine is there. So here now I'm gonna to recite. I have got very short 3 poems to recite here for you people. I hope you will enjoy the recitation of the poems. So now I will commence with the poem. It is titled as Silence. Sometimes silence is wisdom, the care for others' honor. Sometimes silence is wisdom, the care for others' honor. Sometimes silence is ignorance, good poet feeling panicked for having lost valuables. Sometimes silence is fear that must be to avoid bloodshedding. Sometimes silence is discouragement, the weakness that stops one from stopping evils. Sometimes silence is peace, important to work carefully to achieve the goal. Silence is the language, good or bad, depends on when we keep it. I have got one more poem to recite. It is a very short poem titled as I Love the Pans. I love the pans I have while lightening the dark mind. I love the pans I have while showing the way to the blind. I love the pans I have while fighting for the right. I love the pans I have while relieving someone of their plight. I love the pans I have while proving the veracity. I love the pans I have while preserving my dignity. And there is one more short poem, yeah, third poem, which I am gonna recite here. It is titled as My Happiness. Yeah, my happiness. My happiness is in assisting the people. Some get it from deceiving others. My happiness is in uniting the people. Some get it from dividing brothers. My happiness is in assisting the people. Some get it from deceiving others. My happiness is in uniting the people. Some get it from dividing brothers. My happiness is in uniting the people. Some get it from dividing brothers. My happiness is in telling the truth. Some get it from falsity. My happiness is in telling the truth. Some get it from falsity. My happiness is in venerating the people. Some get it from attacking their dignity. Yeah, My happiness is in telling the truth. Some get it from falsity. My happiness is in venerating the people. Some get it from attacking their dignity. My happiness is in being just. My happiness is in being just. Some get it from being unfair. My happiness is in being humanist. Alas, the people with such traits are rare. Thank you, sir.
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You're most welcome. Thank you for sharing. If you say you're a poet, a children's poet, then those are powerful messages for young ones to hear. Thank you for reaching out, and thank you for being here. I'm glad that the power is still there, that you could be here. So come back again. We'll talk. I'll buzz you and we'll have a conversation. I enjoyed listening to you. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
From brilliance to brilliance, this young man is no longer new. He keeps returning. If you follow him on Facebook or social media, he's doing a lot of amazing things. And congratulations on the award you just got. I think it was a couple of days ago. Anyway, to the mic, Debdoot, the mic is yours, my friend.
Yeah, hello, James. Sir, am I audible? I always ask this question.
We can hear you. You're a little bit shaky, so.
Yes. I will read just one poem because time is short. The name of the poem is Theater. Theater. Crisis calls at times of strength, zigzag moments, losing intention, forms and shapes taking birth in moments, strains of sounds going up and turning down in a seamless gusto. Black curtained cut off, imagination travels, alive to the seen and heard. Stage, and stage. To do is to live, to play. Memory interfaces thoughts. Self meanders across to feel. Remember, and never forget what life knows in the subconscious. Metaphors transfer soul into objects. Bursts of emotion, silent tears, elements touching tender knowledge, reactions flow in ripples, images flow, and images flow. Strength to sustain, strength to decide, move on in abstract understanding. To be and to be, not to be for sure. The mountain in stony skin, a flower burns its surface. Thank you, sir.
Wow. I could see why you're getting awards and the accolades that you do. And I know a lot of it is the humanitarian work you're doing, but what you're doing with poetry and trying to bring a positive message is noted. So thank you for coming. Keep coming back. We'll definitely. Oh, you're most welcome. You're most welcome. All right, from brilliance to brilliance. This is a returning feature that we had the honor of witnessing earlier this year. Dee Allen is in the house. Mr. Allen, the mic is yours. Is Dee still here? Yes, he is.
Yeah, I'm here.
There you go. The floor is yours, my friend.
From Field Guide, issue number 5. Based on actual people and events, this is called Counterfeit Rebel. Chickens will start clucking out loud when a rat comes sneaking into the henhouse. Such a rodent crawled its way into the swollen ranks of the Black Lives Matter movement in Colorado Springs, USA. Wearing a mask, bright-eyed enthusiasm for fighting the good fight. She would be found at a street march, so easily compared to the rest, known for the tightness of her halter top and bubblegum pink hair. Busy lady soldier with big energy for a righteous cause. Is this the profile of a vile rodent? A few occasions at her spot changed the tone to this tale. Plans were set, create the crime, run illegal guns through the movement. 2 activists were lured in. Both refused to bait. Zeal for racial justice, false. Her identity, false. Her sex work, false. Her long pink hair, false. Intent to sabotage, real. Her entrapment, real. Her hidden police rank, real. Her FBI handlers, real. Poison to the movement, real. Chilling effect, frighteningly real. Chickens will start clucking out loud when a rat comes sneaking into the hen house. Moving in daylight, looking not for eggs, but for a rest. That poem was called Counterfeit Rebel. And the last one is based on actual events and objects. This last one is called Beads. The only physical reminder I have of my grandmother, mixed African and Native American, is a string of colored beads, crafted, strung together by her aged hands while sitting in bed, gifted to me at age 27. Her way of telling her Afro-punk grandboy, never forget your roots. Roots running deep in each tiny bead in Afrocentric primary colors. Blood of West African, Southeast, North American tribes, red. Skin of the first people on earth, responsible for first, black. Jungles, woodlands taken out of greed and conquest, green. Shining sun, restore of biology and good vibes, yellow. Sole remnant of my beloved of mixed heritage, handmade bridge between continents expropriated, a string of colored beads I label as nothing fancy. Yet wore on special occasions, with black for the black, recalls my grandmother's unspoken plea, never forget your roots. And that last poem was called Beads. And the dedication is not included here, but it's dedicated to someone who's in the virtual audience today. Hercules, California-based poet, Trisha de Jesus Gutierrez, better known as Phynne-Belle. And those are two of folk poems that came out of Field Guide Poetry Magazine, #5, just released a month ago. From this mic to your ears, I'm Dee Allen. Thanks for listening.
Once again, Brother D, thank you so much for your passion and the constant reminder of never forget your roots. You're one of the poets that really emphasizes that message on a regular basis. So thank you. Thank you for being here and your support. Good to see you again. All right, from brilliance to brilliance. Up next, a young man from the West Coast as well. Principe, the mic is yours. Here he is.
Hey, hello, my name is Principe. I'll be reading one poem. It's called Poetic Journey. When I started the long track of this, now I'm hoping for a big boom. It takes 10,000 hours to perfect the craft. Well, what can I say? I'm 10,000 steps from those doorsteps. Now I move past the boom. Yet I'm not fully formed. This torn between states of maceration. I'm torn, just touring between states of maceration at the foot of potential greatness. I stand as an ascending star. Only if I could see the threshold, one day my name will be etched and immortalized in history. Poem.
Your audio kept coming in and out, so I don't know how much anyone caught of that. I don't know if it's just your location, but I would love to hear it. It's just it kept coming in and out.
Take the headphone. I'm gonna take the headphones off.
Okay. Okay, try it again.
You hear me?
Yep, we hear you. Try reciting that piece again, because your audio was very spotty. Can you hear us? Why don't you do this, young man? Why don't you find another spot, and then we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you. All right. Valerie, are you there? I'd like to call to the mic Valerie, and then we'll try Principe again. Valerie, are you there? Looks like she's on, but I'm not hearing her. We'll just keep moving on, and we'll bring them back on when they show up, if she shows up. All right, Marianne, please dazzle us with your poetry. Please dazzle us.
Thank you so much, Raul. Thank you, Elemental, for an absolutely fantastic, fantastic morning, and poet friends. Listening to Dee Allen, just a moment ago, I changed my mind and would like to follow up on Never Forgetting One's Roots with a poem called The Roots of Trees. I do not know if the tamarinds and oaks guard their feelings beneath thickened skin, pockmarked by blights and storms, natural and unnatural. I cannot say with certainty if forest memories ebb and flow through their xylem and phloem, only to accumulate at last in emotional dendrochronology. But I want to believe I do as the hillside elders do when I protect my heartwood. In times of distress, their longing roots plunge deeper, awash in emerald oxytocin that drives them even through rock toward the least they need to survive. Like the gnarled giants, I have weathered loss of face and dignity and near loss of mind in my time, yet it comforts me to think love burrows on like the roots of trees. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you so much, Marianne. Thank you for always having, being here and supporting us and coming from the island, the rock. Thank you so much.
Pleasure's mine, thank
you. You're welcome. All right. Up next, Dee already referenced this woman. She does a lot of stuff in the poetry world and hosting her own stuff. Phynne-Belle is also a brilliant poet. Please dazzle us. The mic is yours.
Thanks so much, Raul. So this piece, just one piece, is called Mintaka. And let me give you a little bit of history behind Mintaka. It refers to the star seed with affinity to water, possessing great power of healing and premonitory dream vision. I am a Mintaka myself. I'm a Pisces. Mintaka is also one of the brightest, most visible stars in Orion's belt. So I did a little bit of research on Orion. And a bit of interesting trivia is that Orion, unfortunately, in some Greek mythology accounts, was the hunter who raped a princess named Merope when her father, King Anepion, rejected him as a suitor. That's all it took. So long story short, Zeus, the supreme and notoriously rapey god in the Greek pantheon, rewards Orion by making him a hero, immortalizing him in the constellations. Go figure. It's a man's world. We're trying to change that. Sit here now. Hear this story, the day I reincarnated, mortal flesh, molting fin and sugar glass bone, landing starship upon a Monday evening's dying planet. Sonar wave Rhea, awakened titans, see my plumed, prideful fishtail ruin my smeared gash lip vermilion, brilliant, breaking a winning streak. It was in that instance you bellowed, stunned, smitten. I paused. There was nothing laced in the impending icebergs melting in my drink. Here, I birthed a practice of copying down misshapen excuses sent in my direction on wake of frenzied moving water. Poseidon's bow, slipshod cocksure proclamation, you asserted, unbending even then. Brine and tang, I murmured back. Who between the two of us was bothering to keep count, to number days in correct order, when I was already tracing the maddening shape your lips took to round out its vowels to soften their frantic release in my direction? You consciously dimmed your flame, this flame inside your hurricane lantern chest you cupped, long fingers to surround it, to guard it, to keep me from deciphering it, while your essence, your combustible, you, hiss between our untended gaps, your fire not wanting to churn vaporous, deplete my approaching whirlpools, my water not wanting to douse you, so wanting to swallow you whole, not wanting to want you, wanting you. I felt the newness of how my bare skin screamed beneath siren scale, rapturous holy fire, where you singed it that very first time. I remember us awakening the fall in November. I remember us quickening rebirth in December. I remember us come July, seasoned to the season's changes and impatient to cast out pretense of distance and cold. How the hot wind chafe of your touch, testing your come-ons, pressed down unyielding gust on my throat and cheeks. Summer flings, sweltering, blistered freak occurrence, dog day squalls. You never hung around too long. Your destination then far abroad, scattered and untold. I had known in Mantaka. Spirit ascending, I would gift you my devotion. I would rainfall you my patience. Coax poppies forth from the cracks of you, desiccated earth of you, nexus birthed soul. It was in this place we created, comprehension dawning. We witnessed the way we halted the tumbleweeds rolling in their southwest wandering. We rooted in oasis, became wildflowers of every riotous color, burgeoning life into the desert. In those days, I sang the sea, sleepy, sex-sated drunk for you, and she pulled the moon's phases erratic to echo you, to greet you. Sunrise Elias mounting to hold on to save you, sunset Icarus plummeting. The leaves turn to gold-hued rot. Proserpina, somnambulant, ascends through snowdrift. A Mayflower head erupts. Soaring is a motion reversed, achieved upside down. The ground is the sky. You bore not a solitary care as your violent rays ripped the sky bare to embrace you, to rescue you in your nightly downfall. Thank you.
Brilliant. I would waterfall you my patience. What a brilliant line. That one line you can turn into so many poems. That was brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing. And good to see you and hear you again. Thank you so much. All right. This young man I usually say for the last of the end of the shows, but I thought it was a little unfair to always have him sitting, waiting patiently to recite. So I decided to mix it up a bit and put him in the middle of the show. We all know him and love him, and we call him Lantern Carrier. The mic is yours, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. This poem is an offering to Elemen2al, who's here. He provided the theme of building blocks. What's the word? For the iconic Nuyorican Poets Cafe and its founders and members of the current team. Sri Chinmoy, the great visionary seer, tells us that there is only one thing that is, was, and always shall be, and that is love. The love that creates, the love that nourishes, and the love that sustains God's universe. Giuseppe, Italian Wazungi, white, and Faustina, Kenyan of Ghanaian parentage, epitomizes the above sutra. Their neighborly friends and Giuseppe, chef, makes regular visits to the charismatic persona of excellence to bring her food. Tasty jollof rice and peas are greeted with smiles as if painted by Da Vinci himself, with gleaming ebony eyes of innocence and a heart of simplicity and purity like snow-white lilies. Faustina reciprocates, bringing out a ugali offering blended from a soul with nothing but the love of paradise. Nakupenda sana, Giuseppe says in Swahili, and Faustina responds in a native tree, Medo wo papa, I love you very much. We can be the change we wish to see, sharing energies of light and goodness, which blends in a harmony of oneness, friendships that tell stories of our humanity, of wanting to share this place we call home, even as we strive for freedom. Language is not only visual, oral, audio, or listen and communication, but has an incredible capacity to stir the spirit. Here we have two people of diverse cultures, not only building blocks, but embodying a deeper inner experience of service, even when life around them seems nothing but chaos and confusion. A poet is forever building blocks, consciously or unconsciously transmitting vibrations which may heal, alleviate pain, or use as therapy and even save lives. A woman wrote to a poet friend once just to tell him that his consoling words had saved her life. She was on the verge of suicide when she read his powerful bars and changed her mind. We poets love to applause, click, add comments of fire or dope, or the power of speaking through silence and reflection. The way lyrics create emotive tears of joy or sadness in our hearts. We are taken to visionary dreams, communicating a language all our own. Nature, too, has a story to tell. The cuckoo laments its beloved, even as the sparrow bewitches my heart. The African starling enchants me with symphonies, and my soul blends with the moon as it glistens and smiles. Stars twinkle and waltz as the illustrious dawn whispers promises of better tomorrows. Prose, says Samuel Taylor Coleridge, words in their finest order. Poetry, the best words in their best order. Rumi is a genius of examples. Both light and shadow, he says, are the dance of love. So we know that light is in global conflicts, just as it exists in the despairing hearts of humans. She conceals herself, even as we become fettered in webs, forgetting that we are not spiders, and that the wound is the place where the light enters, as Rumi says, so that our inner vessels can glimmer with the quintessence of perennial beauty. There are inscrutable and sublime ways of building blocks through words, many of them spontaneous. I did a refugee poem once, and a poet rushed from the back and kissed me. I began to sing Amazing Grace at the end of a Black History piece, and the crowd not only rose to sing with me, but gave me a standing ovation. A poet was so moved by an inspirational rendition that he suggested the audience rise at the count of 3, saying, "We are healed." My soul was blessed that day by the miracle of unspoken love. Sea water caresses the pearl and the marine bed, the coral serenades its opulence. How I wish that my kindred spirits would all serenade one day the resplendence of the one within. Then we'd all become phoenixes of blazing fire, extolling the effulgence of paradise. I cup my hands and kneel in prayer, entreating the surrender of David, the wisdom of Solomon, and the gentleness of doves. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Feels like it's been a while since I heard your words, brother. I know it's been a month, but I so enjoy listening to The depth, not just the depth, but the invitation again, you know, if you want to look at it from a spiritual side, but that invitation, everything permeates from the inside out. So to me, that's always the constant reminder in your pieces. So thank you for that message again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Especially in these troubling times, these times of discomfort, is such a valuable message to share with the world and to share with us. So good to hear you. I think we might have to just keep moving you at different points in the lineup from now on instead of just always the back end. But you've been gracious about it, and I just wanted to let you know I do respect your time and your support. So
thank you. Thank you.
All right, from brilliance to brilliance. I'd love to try before we bring up our next, let's try Principe again and see if we can get a better audio connection, because I'd love for him to share his words.
Oh, hello.
All right, go. That sounds good.
I will be sharing one poem. It's called Poetic Journey. When I started the long track of this poetic saga, I was defeated inside a womb. Now, I'm hoping for a big boom. Take 10,000 hours to perfect the craft. Well, what can I say? I'm 10,000 steps from those dwarf steps. Now I move past the womb, yet I'm not fully formed. Just touring between states of maturation. At the foot of potential greatness, I stand as an ascending star. Only if I could see the threshold. One day, my name will be etched and immortalized in history. Poem.
Is that it, friend?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you had ended. Sorry. Okay. Thank you very much. I like, you see, now I could hear that, you know. I like the fact you're forming in the womb, and it's almost like once you're born, you're still forming in here. See, the ability to hear the words in its fullness. So, and just from the little I know of you, I'm looking forward to our conversation coming this week, though. You're getting better in reciting. So keep writing and keep sharing. For those of you that may follow him on Instagram, but he's also on LinkedIn. He posts every time. Please share your thoughts and comments with him. So thank you, Principe. Thank you for your support, and I hope you're having a good day. All right, from brilliance to brilliance, let's move on. Up next, the rhyming poet, Eddy Foreman. The mic is yours.
A little toast to our host that we love the most. And Elemen2al, he is talented in every proportion. He's not just a poet, he's a host. He's a workshop physicist, he's a consultant, he's a public speaker, and if you don't have your daily dose of Elemen2al, please come to his wonderful Nurican Monday night so you have some extra insight. But my name is Ed Fantastic, Holy Feeling Fantastic. Please, it's time to join my rhyme file for Sublime. I got one piece, so I won't take too much time. This is called Crooked Flag. It's not made of red, blue, and white. It's made from ruby tears. Why is America history right to control our gears? Our ancestors, Black and African, suffer from the body game. We do whatever we can. It's bigger history to blame. Our ancestors slaved to build these pillars in a scorching heat, frigid rain, and below zero snow. After all that, they weren't the winners. Why does the contributions come so slow? I hate the founding fathers who putting my ancestors in chains. I hate pilgrims who kicked the Native Americans off their land. Both groups dealing with backstabbing pains. Now, do you wholeheartedly understand? It's history, covered with sweet, bitter lies. For what? To preserve a false patriotic image. Many mothers, daughters, sisters, brothers, and fathers die. This is the truth. Don't be scared or get skittish. What do? They paint over the hideous marks. We all want to taste the American dream like you. Please stop feeding the blinded sharks. You can choose, but what do you have to lose? It's sad. This is supposed to be a land of opportunity, but took away mine and others' dignity. No. It's not a battle of femininity and masculinity. It's not about but him, her, you, I, and we. Clarity is mute. She can't sing. Why? Her voice been outlawed. It's not peachy or okay. People die from this bloody America facade. You know what to think or say. At least I got you out of that ancient mirage. Whenever you look at the flag, ask yourself, does it truly represent you and me? Yeah, I know it's a huge drag. Damn the sun and clouds pretending we are free. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Potastic. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for your friendship, the conversations we have outside of these boxes, and keep smiling, brother. Keep writing, keep smiling, keep sharing your joy.
Yay, yay.
Yay, yay.
Love
and
you,
thank you,
love
my
you.
bro, like no other, with words like thunder. Woo!
All right. From brilliance to brilliance, Leah, I hope you're well. The mic is yours.
Okay, I've got a couple to share. Suzanne's going to help me out with the second one. So this first one is from my first book, and it's one of those poems that gets away with you. Like you start it thinking it's going to be about one thing, but by the end it takes control and changes your mind. So it's called Define Alone. Is it an empty restaurant with kind staff who smile and remove the other set so you don't feel alone? Is it the abandoned and crumbling petrol station with an exit sign, the only legible sign, through flimsy wire fence? Is it the dim twilight painting pastel colors as your steps echo on cracking pavement, one set? Is it the lone voice of your nature turning thoughts like straw into gold, giving you someone to talk to? Is it the single flame burning on the tea light next to your single glass of wine? Is it an empty night staring out a window which frames a twisted ivy-covered tree in the gathering night with emerging stars? Is it closing your eyes and wiggling your toes in the wet sand, feeling the wash of the grit begin to sink you in the last warmth of summer? Is it a single touch along the jawline, thoughtful, gentle, provoking thoughts of it being someone else's hand? Is it a strand of long hair in your eye, shifting the light into a forested shadow? Is it an empty chair, staring, sitting across the table, wanting to be filled? There is so much that can seem alone, but alone is not the same as lonely. I relaxed into the empty, the abandoned and crumbled, the dim twilight, the turning thoughts, the single flame, the single glass, the wooden frame, the twisted tree, the closed eyes, the sinking sand, the last warmth, the single touch, the long hair, the empty chair. I listen to the alone and am content. Okay, and for this next one, Suzanne's going to help me out. I've never been able to perform this live because it's a bit weird. So she's gonna help me out with it as soon as I make it big enough for everybody to see. Can everybody see that? Okay, Suzanne, can you unmute for me?
Yep.
Okay. This is called Date with Myself. So, hey, it's been a while.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
It's fine. I just want to smile.
No need, seriously, to worry.
Worry? Me? Why would I?
You can't fool me, you know.
I just hate seeing you cry.
I told you I needed to go.
Too tempting, I guess.
Staying at home is no good.
I never loved you any less.
I know. I would accept if I could.
Maybe someone will join us. You never can tell. You might see a new trust and then feel well.
That seems unlikely now. How my luck's been. I will no longer stop and bow. Too many letdowns I've seen.
Oh, come on. You're not past that need or that sight. Besides, I'm here, first to last. I'll never leave the light.
Not sure that helps me. Not like we're in love either. No matter what we see, things we can't do neither.
I can love if you let me.
Good, but not enough.
I know how to set you free.
It will get too tough.
No, it won't. I'll always be here.
Undoubted, but I mean really.
If not me, who else can care?
Need someone else, nearly.
No, you don't. You need only you.
Suppose I can't argue with myself.
If you do, at least it's all true.
No part in leaving it all on the shelf.
Thank you very much, Susanne. Yeah, glaring typos, but it'll do. Thank you.
I didn't notice the typos. I was too busy listening to the back and forth. So you're such a brilliant writer, and you're so bang on. There is a difference between being alone and lonely. So if you ever want to know my version of alone, buzz me and we'll have a virtual coffee and a chat. So anyway, Leah, thank you so much. It's always good to hear your beautiful words. I don't remember the exact line, but just the brilliance of your writing, of a single strand of hair coming into
your face.
And creating
turning the light into forested shadow.
Yeah, brilliant. I just thought that was brilliant. So brilliant as usual. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Susanne. I'll promise if I ever do it again, I'll fix the typos.
And that was it. That was improv from just a conversation before the show started. So I'm glad when things like that happen. So both of you, thank you so much for doing that. All right, Susanne, you're next. So we'll get Susanne to stay on the mic, and then if Valerie. There's a number of people right now really having issues. They're bouncing in and out of the show, so hopefully she'll have time. But right now, Susanne, the mic is yours. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's see, I have two. This first one is called Love Will Show Us. In spite of us, love will continue to bless and shine into every opening and onto asphalt, metal, and steel. Love will blanket tight fists, stiff bodies, clamped jaws, clenched minds, all the barbs and thorns. Love's light will illumine the pain in our world, show us the wounds that need us. And the second one is called Ever Faithful. Life has taken the people I believed were love. I felt empty, lost, abandoned. Of course, the tiny, tender creature that was me was never held faithfully in the silence, cradled in the human and the sacred. My mother, her mother, and hers, broken souls with holes in their hearts and bellies like me, repeating the pain, repeating the weeping mother bloodline. Then I found who I thought were kindreds, friends, lovers with holes like mine, that felt like home until they couldn't. I begged some of them to love me, to stay. They couldn't. Life with its genius ways of cracking our hard shells broke me, burned the old, melted the ice walls inside my body, mind, water, tears, flow, feelings, openness, water spirits, water gods, goddesses, healing, cleansing, renewal, the gaping, gasping holes filling up with sacred waters. Now I could hold myself in the silence, abide in the full vastness, find the forgotten face of love, ever faithful, love as who we are. Thank you.
Susanne. Love will blanket tight fist from that first poem. Man, we need so much love right now on some of the tight fists that's going on in the world today. And then it was home until it wasn't. I love your writing, and you could just feel your comfort level as you continue to do this. Keep sharing. There's just I don't know. I just feel good when I hear your words. I just feel good when I hear your words. So thank you so much for being here and your continued support. All right, brilliance from brilliance to brilliance. Mona, the poet photographer, the mic is yours, my friend.
Thank you, Raul. I wanted to acknowledge Elemen2al too and say thank you, especially for the poems that were referencing the military, his military life experience. I'm a mother of a soldier who's going to be deployed soon, so it really touched my heart. So thank you so much for that. I have two short poems, so there we go. I'll go right into it. Treasure chest. Whatever I try to hold in my treasure chest is lost sooner or later. In fact, it is already gone. The lid closed tightly over the rim does not prevent any dream from combusting sooner or later. In fact, it already has. Millions of shards return to the chaos of a supernova burst. Whatever I release comes to me, it seems, sooner or later. In fact, it has already come of its own accord, wholeheartedly coalescing a sacred universal design. Sooner or later, in fact, it already did. Light pumping at perfect speed in and out of my chest, the most precious treasure. And the second one, that is brand new, called Self-Portrait. Sigh falling softly, the contours of the day trace blue reflections. Light flowing rivulets weaving water rings in and out. Smiles of wonder, smiles of jest. Find me in the play of shadows, the way they shift in this perpetual dance. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me in the twilight of this life and the next. Wake with me as the world begins and ends. Sing with me this life that breathes light in and out of everything. My love, hear me sing our destiny into being. Watch me burn it in this enormous fire. Watch me burn in it all the days and nights of my life. All the days and nights of me loving you. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful as usual, Mona. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. You know, it's funny, we were talking, I think it was last week, and then even listening to you today, because my brother served. And it's funny, I never thought of it from my mother's perspective, because when my brother was in the military, you know, he's my brother, and, I assume he's fine, but, my mother had a different experience, because she was always worrying, so even if it wasn't wartime. So anyway, we thank the soldiers, but we need to also thank the moms and the dads. Thank you for the children that you raise that are willing to put on a uniform to keep us safe and protected. So we'll hold you close to us, Mona. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's continue on. I am not sure. I think CP got kicked out, so we will continue on. Hopefully he'll join us. And up next, the brilliant author of the new release book, Stone Poetry, my good brother, Richard. The mic is yours.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you all. I've got two for you. This first one, I have to do this. It's called I Do Not Like War. I've been protesting war since 1968. It's too damn long. And I know many of you are with me on this point. I do not like war. I do not like war at my door. I don't like it on the steps. I do not like it. It is not hep. I do not like war here or there. I do not like war anywhere. I don't like it on the street. I don't like it. It is not neat. I do not like war on those folks. I do not like it. It makes us broke. I don't like what war does to them. I don't like when the buildings are strewn. I don't like it when war kills kids. I don't like it. I never did. I do not like those loud explosions. I do not like patriotic confusion. I don't like it. It's dumb. I do not embrace it, what is done. Yes, I know the Poles will use it, and the victims sure do lose it. Makes more enemies than it kills. That some seem to like it gives me chills. And then this one, a different battle entirely. This is called Tossed, the High Cost of Living. Trundle of trouble, they double and fumble the bubble, and the poor lose the fiction of history's direction. And when they cut that class for the working class, history shall henceforth be a mystery. And the togs and the tags of geography will fall prey to some politician's biography. And then knowledge will fall disparaged, and all those now can't afford college. And the rhyming of timing repeats designing due to mountains of unforgivable debt. They ain't seen nothing yet. Drawing on vapors with the capers of our betters in the papers, lest we forget their letters, the alphabet of lines of refinement, and the requirement of retirement, oh, desirement, repeatedly defeated in their simple homespun, repeated upon indeed by bootstraps separated across the stage for food scraps, lacing up their new taps, overrated, overpriced, more than just a little avarice. Charge 'em twice, the old-fashioned waltzes, put fresh holes in their newly salted sockses. Luckily, the sunset is still free, and at least they haven't found an address to bill me, and you, my darling dearest, never cease to thrill me. Thank you, my friends. Thank you.
Good to hear your voice again. Glad you're feeling better. Right? Good that you're still here with us. And yeah, I agree. I think we've had enough war, don't you? We've got a long, long, long history of war. It's time for us humans to grow and take the next evolution of our humanity and maybe stop being so barbaric like we were tribals. We're still tribes. Anyway, thank you for the reminder, Richard. Thank you for your voice. I know you were willing to step aside to let other poets come, but I think your voice is a needed voice. The young poets need to hear you and the messages that you bring to the table. Like Elemen2al said, man, it's our responsibility as poets. So thank you for being who you are. All right, and another conscientious young man, from brilliance to brilliance. Henry, the mic is yours, my brother.
Hello, hello. I'll share two pieces with you all today. Elemen2al, you were dope. I really enjoyed that. and as you saw, I was voting for an encore because I wanted more. Sometimes I hear features and I think that we don't give them enough time because, you know, it just takes time. And that this is such a moment. And thank you, Ro, for bringing them in. All right. First piece, Along This Way. This was published in Murfreesboro Majesty back in 2021. And it came from a fellowship program I was in looking at some dancers called This Holding. Along This Way. Heavy burden pulling inside and outside, holding on while stepping on crisp grass, making a new path for others to follow, hunters looking for easy prey, children searching for their homes, lovers sharing in nature's grace, This struggling day becomes tight shoulders, brings tight shoulders, walking on a trail of colored breadcrumbs, a loaf of memories crumbling in my arms, hands reaching for rancid connections, fingers grasping at straying fibers, palms holding onto abandoned self, an old scarecrow mounted in a cornfield, nibbling at the air, gasping for breath, singing whispered songs as crows circle, eyes wanting to see lucid dreams, head hurting from bright sunlight, neck straining toward a different journey along this way. And thank you. The next piece is titled Fighting to Hold On. One of my projects is dealing with Alzheimer's, dementia, and different conditions like that. And this poem is from that project. Broken Mind, Nothing to Do with Feeling Blue or Blues is actually, that first title was my working title. So that's the actual title. Broken Mind, Nothing to Do with Feeling Blue or the Blues. My mind is broken, a shattered vase of memories, unglued remnants scattered on the floor. Time to sweep up the mess, looking for hiding images, ceramic pieces of a puzzle, unsolvable. After weeks of moving hints around, so much is unclear from the edge. They believe unable to salvage this vessel or consider still beautiful and useful. Once a mind for flowers, colors, and scents, which inspired smiles, love, and joy, even romantic lures of passion. When a couple heard ecstasy scream, they looked and came together, searching for love or lust, and then floated in a pool of sweat, holding onto each other, so no one would fall and break like this precious vase did. Together they felt whole, even if for a moment. I search for such a moment, but when you touch this broken container of what once was me and my mind, superglued with sticky fingers, there's no wholeness or healing. You can see and trace my hairline cracks, those surface roadways to twilight zones, and find my uneven, fragmented fears, sharp enough to cut your fingers to become a bloody sacrifice for the gods, which become lies and broken promises. I can't be filled with love or water. No one even tries. No matter how much I thirst to feel real, I'm alone and lonely, surrounded by people, but wanting to wander, to find myself again, but I must stay nearby them who don't understand my struggles, because you're never the same after you fall and break. What they tried to pick up weren't bones, but splinters of me. Fraying from cords of wood, I was once strong and hard as a warrior, now dry and aged, ready for flames. A fiery ideal from my muse for inspiration or insight. Instead, I see burning acres, a silent wildfire consuming me inside, charred remains becoming flying flakes, drifting away my thoughts and dreams, as lost connections of my brain's gray matter unfolds and becomes off-road trails, where I get lost but try to find my way back. Then I hear the constant whispers, talking about Alzheimer's or old mind, mentioning between their words, discussing frustrating days with me and my distortions of reality. Excuse me. I'm reading from
it.
Yes, and my distortions from reality.
Is that the end of the poem?
No, talking about Alzheimer's or old mind, mentioning between their words, discussing frustrating days with me and distortions of reality. I want to stand up and just shout, I am here! But I can't. I don't know if it's due to fear or if they're right. Something is missing, but I keep listening. My twists become stray remains of my past transformed into a rope, which I bravely grasp with my fingers, like hanging from a mountain's cliff, while whispering to myself, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go.
We are old warriors, aren't we, my friend? You know, you mentioned not knowing one's struggles, but we do know we all have struggles. And I think someone mentioned earlier in a poem about, you know, the scars. Whenever we have these life scars, it's a bit of our life force. It's like when you have a physical cut, some of your blood spills, so your life force is shared into the world, but it doesn't always stay open. But it's that opening. It's not so much letting the light shine in, it's letting it, it's through those scars that your light shines out into the world, and sharing into the world. And we all share that commonality. Our struggles may be different, but we share that. So you're a constant reminder of those lessons of life and the lessons that we can learn. So we are old warriors. It's actually a blessing to get to a point where you're an old warrior.
True.
Thank you for the reminder, my brother. Like, wow. Always, you always put me in that space. You're brilliant.
Thank you.
You're brilliant.
So when we get this on stage and get the right actor, you guys will know about it and see it.
Well, see what Denzel's doing.
Ah.
Denzel's getting older now, so you know he's an old warrior.
That would be fabulous. Hey, what does it cost me to send it to him, right?
Right. Well, you know, he's at that point in his life now. He might just say, you know what, I'll do it for free.
Exactly.
So, you know,
exactly. That would be fabulous. Yeah.
Or better yet, you do it.
Yeah. I know there are people that are dealing with mental conditions that are in and out.
Yeah.
I know of one that 1 minute he's fine, when he's not, but it's hard to keep. It has to be an actor.
Yeah.
That studies the people and then does it, you know, and captures that behavior.
Yeah, definitely. No, I've got a couple of family members right now struggling with that, and it's mental health is something we still don't really want to embrace and talk about, and yet I think everyone to some degree on this planet struggles with mental health somewhere in their world. So anyway, thanks again for the constant reminder of our humanity and the trials and tribulations that we all have to live as humans. And that's, you know, this is why we, you know, people love saying, you know, how different we are. Stop saying that nonsense. We have more in common than differences. We just experience things differently, but we're going through the same thing. So anyway, that brings us to the end of the show. And we have a special guest. I don't know if you guys noticed when I first put it up, I had put KinFolk in. I kind of slid that in because Lady Dee reached out to me, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and saying, yeah, we could definitely do it. I'd love to come in and be here today. So I try not to bug them too much because they got a little one there. I see my little grandson, Glory, who's growing so beautifully. But I'm glad that they wanted to be here. So I'll send you off with a treat because I always love when KinFolk can be here. But I want to take this time and opportunity to say thank you to my brother Elemen2al, not just for being a good host, not just for being a brilliant storyteller, and that you are a storyteller. You just gave us a master class in storytelling today, brother. But just for being the human that you are, for the message that you know, just speak. From what I can tell, like I said, from our conversations, you walk it. I truly am enjoying getting to know you and getting to know the nuances of you and your experiences and where you are and your hopes. If you haven't had the chance to sit down and talk with this young man, please do. He's a brilliant person to know. But then again, so are you all. I've been fortunate to have one-on-one conversation with almost everyone on the screen here. And for those that I haven't, please reach out, and I'm always willing to sit down and have a coffee and a chat. Because in this day and age with technology, and we had a couple of people that kept trying to get it on and bouncing out, it happens. But like Alexandra said, if it wasn't for this technology, we don't get to come together the way we do. During COVID, in the lockdown, it's because of technology. It kept us sane and being able to be connected. Again, the message that I always talk about, it's balance. Life is about balance. And it's a balance between good and bad, evil, beautiful and ugly. That is the duality of the world we live in. We need to stop fighting it and embracing it and understanding it. Because I think the more we understand it, maybe one day, human 2.0 will do what Richard is hoping for, no more war. And we'll stop seeing that we're different and realizing we're not different. We are the same. We're just having these individual experiences of divine, of consciousness, of the universe, of God, whatever you want to call it. The mere fact that we're breathing the same air means we are connected. We are human, and that should mean something, and it's time for us to live that way. There's too much conflict on this world. We're still acting like we're the tribes of 3,000 years ago. It is time for us to learn from the past, not fear it. Learn from it, because wisdom is attached to the past. I love you all. I thank you for your continued support. And for those of you that put on shows, reach out to the host of other shows and feature them. Because I am pretty sure a lot of people were glad to not, we've seen you host, but for you to share your words, to get to hear you today was a treat that I don't think we'll forget anytime soon. So on that note, I will shut up and I will invite Lady Dia and Trophy and Glory to take us home.
What inspires you? What keeps you going when everything has fallen to the side? Got you begging, praying, asking God if things will be all right. Let me take you there to the stars where possibilities collide. There's a path, follow the road, and it will be all right. What inspires you? What keeps you going? Everything has fallen to the side. Got you begging, praying, asking God if things will be alright. Let me take you there to the stars where possibilities collide. There's a path, follow the road, and it will be alright. What inspires you? What keeps you going? Everything has fallen to the side. Got you begging, praying, asking God if things will be alright. Let me take you there to the stars where possibilities collide. There's a path, follow the road, and it will be alright.
I turned on the news this morning, and Israel is still fighting with Palestine. Earlier the previous day, I had the neighbors arguing. Somebody hurt the other. Mothers and fathers and children. An old man told me that once the family does not agree, society begins to disintegrate. But early in the morning, an Orpheus or Morpheus brought forth a red pill.
God, you beg and pray and asking God if things will be alright. Let me take you there to the stars where possibilities collide. There's a path, follow the road, and it will be alright.
I'm curious what keeps us on this journey in the midst of all the chaos. Is the chaos part of us that we deny, and in trying to suppress, a new chaos comes forth? It was Yasser Arafat and Ariel Sharon that led the scene when I was young. Today, a new form of players play the same game. The drums of war have been sounded. Let's not forget Ukraine or Somalia, and we can list it on and on and on. But what inspires you?
What inspires you?
The poets,
Keeps you
the
going,
artists that bring forth the beauty from this chaos.
Got you begging, praying, asking God if things will be alright. Let me take you there to the stars where possibilities collide. There's a path, follow the road, and it will be alright.
So as we maneuver this path, and all our different roads lead us here today, I take the red pill, elemental. Feel all the good, the bad, the ugly, the sweet, the formations that come from all these life experiences. Curious, what keeps us going enough to journey to this place that we call a now? In the face of those that take the responsibility of making sense of the madness and the joys and the chaos.
Things will be alright. Let me take you there to the stars where possibilities collide. There's a path, follow the road, it will be alright. Say, what inspires you? What keeps you going when everything has fallen to the side? Got you begging, praying, asking God if things will be alright. Let me take you there to the stars where possibilities collide. There's a path, follow the road, and it will be alright. Thank you so much.
I got lost in the words and the vibe, and this is why I was delayed, because you just inspired a thought that I'm going to now do something with. And now it's so good to have a third voice. Well, there's always been, I guess, another voice in the KinFolk Nation.
I guess so.
It's amazing to watch this young man grow up. I held him when he was just like this. And now he's singing with mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do, others around the world is doing. Thank you for the reminder. Thank you for being KinFolk. Thank you for being a voice of conscience and the vibe that you have. Brother Bob would be proud of. The messaging that you bring to the world, the love that your union spills into the world is inspiring. So thank you. Thank you for always answering the call whenever I pick up the phone and say, hey, love you both. And you, young man, saying I love you is pointless. It'll be like not breathing. So,
Thank you, Grandpa Rob.
ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the conclusion of this show. Like I started off by saying, it's been a Sunday kind of love, and it definitely has been. To end the show with love and a reminder that we are human. You guys said what keeps us going? Love, life keeps us going. And as crazy as it is right now, believe it or not, we're getting better. We have to go through these discomforts, because it's through these discomforts where transformative change comes, deep change. The invitation to all of us is to go inside and to get your house in order. As hard as it feels and as hard as it seems, that's the invitation, because that's what keeps us moving forward. And maybe we're moving forward to realizing that we are one tribe. And if we're one tribe, maybe we'll start valuing life, all life. It's a journey. It's a process. It sucks at times. No doubt, it sucks at times. But I also believe we have the strength. It's in us. This is why I invite you to step in. Like Elemental said in his bio, he had the courage to step in and deal with his PTSD and all, and his anxieties and everything. What are you not dealing with? Because I think every man, woman, and child needs to step in these times of uncertainty. I love you all. And I don't say that loosely, I mean it. Not loving you is not loving me. And I love me. And I love you. We're all brilliant and special. And to when you drop to your knees and whatever you call your divine, call on your divine to hold you close and to hold us all in these times. I don't care about the politics. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know. I have my ideas about what's going on with Israel and Palestine, but no one really knows. All I know is Israel, the Ukraine, Chad, Yemen. I can keep going on and on. And to Richard's point, have we had enough war? Because we're not these singular tribes anymore. We are one tribe called human. Peace and love. Have a blessed, blessed day. Until we meet again.
Amen.